All right, so I'm out here in Warsaw, Poland. This is my first international post. See, I'm in the old town. Okay, this is my first day here. Just flew in from Chicago overnight, red eye type of thing. So, and you can see there's a lot of people here, a lot of tourists, and the spiritual lesson, or the thing that I wanted to impart today, is the past, and also your sort of ethnic, or your you know, where you came from, your roots, if you want to call it that, right? And so I'm half Polish. I'm also part German, part Irish, and part English, right? So maybe one day I'll go there and to those countries. I've been to Germany before a long time ago, but yeah, it's interesting because of our humanness. There's sort of a you know, and I did the 23andMe, so there's sort of this that validated that yes, I was half Polish. You know, it came out to be 48.8% Polish. You know, from my dad's side. So our humanness, we can have a draw to the country of origin, or the geographical area and culture that we're from, right? And that's one of the reasons I wanted to come here, and just to feel, you know, what just to feel and to you know, almost, you know, be great, have gratitude and be thankful for the Polish, you know, people. Because obviously if I wasn't, if there weren't, you know, if the Polish people, you know, I wouldn't be here, right? So, so yeah, so just gratitude. So gratitude, and so it's kind of, you know, trippy coming here for the first time. And, you know, there's a lot of youths here, young people, tourists, you know, and they're just hanging out. You know, it's funny because when you're young, in groups going to historical, you know, places, you usually don't, you really don't care too much about the history, right? The past, because you're young, you're looking forward, or you're just goofing off, you're just, you know, being kids, right? Being young people. And, but you might have a pull, you might have a, I don't know, you might have a, almost a genetic pull, or cultural pull to a place that you came from, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a beautiful part of our humanness. So, you know, if you feel called to doing that, I recommend, you know, that you can go to wherever you came from, you know, visit that place. It actually looks like there's some Ukrainian, let's see, right there behind me. I don't know, some people from Ukraine, or at least they have like the armbands on them, the Ukrainian flag. So we're actually by Ukraine. Poland is border with Ukraine. And as you can hear, we have traditional Polish music in the background, right? we have a saxophone player. Oh, we have a saxophone player. right over there. I don't know if you can see him. So yeah, so the past, because of our humanness, so this is all the play of form. We all came from somewhere. You know, I came from Europe. You might have come from a different part of the world, Asia or Africa or South America or Central America, or Australia, or, you know, whatnot. I don't want to, you know, forget any place. India, or, you know, wherever, right? And there's an importance to that, right? Because that's where that past and that lineage and all the, you know, pain bodies, psychic wounds. I mean, this is I think this is a World War II memorial right over here. And I mean, I just literally just walked here, so, and I don't know much about this. There's some ruins over here. You can see right here, or, you know, and these beautiful buildings right there, very colorful buildings right here. And what I understood when just briefly reading about it is that a lot of these places, or this, I mean, Warsaw was destroyed during World War II, and so they rebuilt it after World War II to be very similar construction of it was before it was destroyed. So this is how it looked before it was destroyed for World War II. Right. And it's a testament of our, so I'm kind of just riffing on a couple ideas, but it's a testament of our, you know, the human ego, the war, and you know, destruction, and I'm going to go to Krakow in a couple days and visit, you know, the Auschwitz and the concentration camp and everything, and you know, the terrible genocide that happened here of the Jews, and also just, you know, hundreds of thousands, I don't know the exact amount of just Polish people died, and then many Polish Jews died, and so there's a lot of history of pain here, history of pain in this part of the world, and it also continues in Ukraine. You know, what's going on there. So it's like, you know, that's why the spirituality is about healing, because it's a beautiful life, and when human ego is healed, there's no need for war. The concept of genocide is so foreign. It's not even in the, you know, in the vocabulary of an awakened person. So who has healed themselves. So we got the traditional Polish music in the background. It's kind of, and they got like a new stadium. I don't know, a newish stadium, modern. So again, you might be drawn, and it's okay. You know, this spirituality, you know, some teachers or things that you read about, it can be so dry and so like not celebrating or honoring the humanness and the you know, where you came from, you know, what culture, you know, where your DNA's from, you know, what part of the world it came from, what ethnic heritage, and it's fine. It's beautiful, and it should be honored. So there's nothing wrong with that. And then here's the caveat, though. The caveat is to also not be so identified, you know. No. Okay, yeah. So I'm being asked to donate to the war, or donate for the war relief. So I will go into my. I have some. So I have some American cash. Yeah. So there's some Ukrainian people. I just gave a $10 bill, American dollar bill. I don't know what they could do with. Well, they could you know, they could exchange that. But yeah, but it's like that stuff that's going on in Ukraine. It's like the past. So you can honor it, but don't identify with the past. Don't become so rigid with the past that, oh, this heritage, this, because in what's going on in Russia right now, you know, Putin is like, you know, the Russian people, the greatness of Russia, and there's fear, there's egoic fear of, you know, Russia not being strong anymore, right? That's one of the reasons. And you know, that Russia is so important you know, as a culture or ethnicity or whatever. And so as we grow in consciousness, as we grow into a new earth, those ideas are going to go out the window, because we all are one. Everyone is one, and no ethnic group or you know, is better than the other, right? So, you know, so you just have to, you know, and it takes work, because a lot of countries and culture live in the past, right? They're identified with the past, and it keeps them, you know, in this past stagnant, no growth identity, right? And you know, I will point out the American South after the Civil War. You know, the American South, with you know, they kept the Confederate flags. They kept the past egoic identity alive with statues. They created all the statues, which recently have started to been taken down, of Civil War generals and politicians, so forth. But that's a prime example of how egoic past and hatred too, because there's a lot of hate and division, creating enemies. That southern ethos of the old Confederacy was all about creating enemies and division, and we're better than you, and subjugating, you know, African Americans and so forth. So so that's, you know, that again, that's a past that you know, that's a very egoic past, and so that is ending. that is ending, but people, I mean, in the United States, in some regards, there's that same mentality that of creating division against, you know, people who are different, you know, other than, you know, whites, you know, so unfortunately the ego that creates, and that has an identity in thinking that they're a certain way, unfortunately might, you know, aren't going to go down without a fight. And that happens throughout history, and that's why as more people awaken, you know, hopefully less and less wars, less and less, you know, craziness that's going on in Ukraine right now. I'm just like pointing that way. I'm like, that's the border over there, I think, or wherever in the world, right? There's you know, wars in other parts of the globe over the last 20-30 years, in Asia, in Africa, in South America, you know, blah 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 blah. So yeah, because it's just there's a peace. When you surrender and you connect to your true eternal self, there's this peace, and you see everyone as God, you know, because this is a oneness. So, and then you're grateful for everyone sharing their existence with you. So thank you. So I'm going to do a little gratitude, like, thank you for sharing this existence with me. Thank you, and thank you, Poland, for sharing this existence with me, because if you weren't here, I wouldn't be here, right? Because my dad was 100% Polish. So thank you, Poland, for your existence, you know, and with the good and the bad and the ugly, because every place has a good, bad, and ugly, right? You know, Poland isn't perfect, and you know, America isn't perfect. You know, you just name whatever country or culture you came from, and you know, they're not perfect. That's just the human egoic experience, right? So. But as we grow consciously, and as we heal the trauma, see, there's a lot of trauma here. There's a lot of trauma in every culture, you know. Certain cultures, you know, might have a little more trauma than others, but every culture has their trauma pain bodies. So what you want to do is you want to acknowledge them, and then heal. Acknowledge them, bring loving kindness, awareness to them, and that's the beginning of healing, right? And bringing peace and love to this beautiful existence. So yeah, so thank you for sharing this existence with me. You are a beautiful manifestation of source energy. You are a beautiful manifestation of source energy. And you watching are a beautiful manifestation of source energy, right? And you bikers are a beautiful manifestation of source energy. Yeah, so I just came here, and my first day and my first international post, and what's this song? You make me feel so good. The way you feel, the way you feel. I can feel so good. Yeah, so Poland. Yeah. So yeah, and then maybe I mentioned this earlier, but then it's okay to honor your identity, but then there's no, as you awaken and as you grow spiritually, you cease identification, right? Because your truth, your eternal truth is not Polish, is not, you know, put whatever culture or ethnicity that you want to put down. You know, Source is not any of that. Source is, you know, transcends that on the humanness, right? So as you deepen spiritually, you know, then you're not identified anymore. You're no longer identified that you are a, you know, fill in the blank, you know, culture or ethnicity or race or whatever you want to put in there, right? That is not your truth, right? And you could honor it, though. You could honor it, like I'm here in Poland and I'm gonna have a, you know, Polish meal. I mean, I live in Chicago, so, and there's a little Polish neighborhood right by me. So I'm gonna compare and see if the food is better here than in Chicago. And you know, they have they have Italian restaurants. They have a burrito place over there. They had a French place, so yeah, so there's a cool little street. So I'm gonna go down here and walk, and if I come up with another idea, I will share it. But yeah, so yeah, and that actually might be a good meditation for some of you out there. Oh, we got a little wham going on. Is that you could do a meditation on, if you feel that you're very identified with your country of origin, or where you came from, or race or ethnicity. You know, if you feel that you're very identified, you know, you could meditate on that. You could meditate on it and see what happens if you no longer identify it, and see if it brings up, I don't know, maybe a pain body or maybe a struggle, because, you know, that's you know, unfortunately, well, just being honest, it's egoic identification with form, because this is just all form. So that could be a really good meditation that could heal you, and that could, because then you could enjoy it and say, hey, this is I'm in Poland, and I'm gonna get some pierogies or dumplings they're calling here, and get some sausage and, you know, stuffed cabbage, and you know, and just have fun with the culture, but it's not like identified. It's not like this. You're like this. I honor it. Okay, it's starting to rain, so I'm gonna close this one out and get an umbrella out and put on my rain thing, so love you, And thanks for watching my first international post. And hopefully there's going to be more. All right. Until we meet again next time in the I'll just say Polish rain now, because that's what's happening right now. All right.